I'm joined by NewsNation senior national correspondent Brian Entin and former FBI special agent Tracy Walder. Thank you so much to both of you for being with us. Brian, I know that you are at the airport. You're about to board a plane and get to Texas for this story. What are you hearing from law enforcement this morning?
The latest that I'm hearing this morning, Adrienne, is that they do believe that Gonzalo Lopez was trying to flee to Mexico. You heard Ileana explain that there was this shootout. They used the stop sticks, and then he was killed by police. That all happened south of San Antonio. They believe he was on his way to Mexico, and also on him he had an AR-15 and a handgun. What I'm told by law enforcement sources is that once they got him to stop the truck, he ran. He had the AR-15 and the handgun with him. He started shooting at police. They shot back and killed him. And they do believe that that AR-15 and the handgun did come from the home of the family that was killed in Centerville, Texas, Adrienne.
You know, this was the biggest maybe the biggest manhunt in Texas history, maybe one of the largest in U.S. history. Tracy, on the run for more than 3 weeks. From your experience with the FBI, how did he manage to hide for so long?
Well, it's good to see you, Adrienne. I think that's actually one of the biggest questions that I have was that, you know, he's on the run for almost 3 weeks. And what's mystifying to me is how far he actually didn't get. Yes, I fully agree that he was on his way to Mexico, found too far south of this area, really only about 2 hours. So my question was he going from weekend home to weekend home to weekend home where there weren't people? And that's where he was sort of getting this shelter. I think that's what's really surprising to me. And, you know, really, why weren't they knocking down the doors of these places where he potentially could have been? I guess that's what's a little surprising to me is how far he didn't get. I would have expected him to get into across the Mexican border really within a day or two.
Yeah, and Brian, that is a good question, and it's one of the things we saw in Ileana's package. Some people saying there wasn't enough warning to residents in the area where law enforcement was searching. Have we seen anything else about this in terms of actual material evidence that there wasn't enough warning? And how does it compare to other large cases like this?
Well, you've got a lot of angry people out there in the area between Houston and Dallas where all of this happened. I was out there when they started the manhunt. They had a massive perimeter up for about a week. They said they believed he was still there hiding out. And then they broke everything down and said they had new information that he was possibly in a different location. Well, fast forward to where we are now. No. He was still there. He has been hiding out in that area all this time. And the worst possible thing happened. He went into a house. He killed 4 children and an adult. That's what everyone feared from the beginning because we have known that this guy is so dangerous. So yes, Texas law enforcement has a lot of tough questions to answer today.
Tracy, what happens next?
So I think, and I fully agree with Brian, I think that he was probably actually hiding out in this home since it was sort of their weekend home and he surprised them, I guess, is really what happened. And I think what happens next is there really needs to be an investigation done. What's surprising to me is that he is a known member of the Mexican mafia. They are so violent. And from what I've read about him, he's tried to escape before. So I really want to understand what happened in regards to this escape. How was he searched? What was missed in that search? What was missed in the prison bus? How was he able to get a makeshift weapon onto the bus? I think those are the questions that need to be answered because really this is the second time now that we've had a very large escape really in a transit kind of situation. That was what happened in the White case as well.
Yeah, just days earlier or weeks earlier, we were seeing another escaped inmate. You wonder why criminals like this, he was serving 2 life sentences, why he was not monitored 24/7, why there was not a guard with him on that bus, considering that he was a flight risk before. Thank you both. And I know, Brian, we're going to check back in with you, of course, throughout the day and evening here on NewsNation. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.